After an initial harvest time rush, elevators like this could see a drop in production, as producers may want to keep their crops at their own farms, waiting to see if prices do increase. That's the date the U.S. Transportation Board has set for rail companies like BNSF and Canadian Pacific to come forward with their plans on how to improve deliveries of fertilizer and other agricultural goods. In Minot, Rene Thibault, NBC North Dakota News. In North Dakota, summertime is active weather season, which is why the Forestry Department is ready to respond to a call at any moment's notice. Tonight marks the final public input meeting for the Department of Housing and Urban Development's National Disaster Resiliency Competition. Minot and the Souris River Basin are one of 67 groups across the country competing for federal funds to aid with disaster recovery. And it's not just adults and kids getting into the spooky spirit. The National Retail Federation estimates that pet owners will spend $350 million on costumes for their furry friends this Halloween. PTO accidents cause some of the most serious injuries on the farm. This piece of equipment rotates hundreds of times per minute. If a farmer gets too close, a loose piece of clothing or hair can get sucked in and cause serious damage. With harvest time quickly approaching, many farmers may have their sights set on the finish line, but Eric Simone reminds them that the race isn't over just yet. Thanks guys, I'm here in Stockholm Hall and I'm joined by Dan Parker, a professional Lego builder out of Seattle. Dan, thank you very much for joining us.
You bet, Rainey, thanks.
Talk about the display that you guys have built here. Adrenaline junkies and fearless funny men hit the dirt today at the Western Edge Bull Riding, Bullfighting, and Clown School.
We have first-timers riding small steers, and we have guys that are accomplished already that are just here to perfect skills, to hone their skills, to become better bull riders, to move to the next level.
I'm just here because I want to get better and I want to ride more bulls and get some different insight from some different people.
A group of about 15 young men ages 10 to 25 years old are attending the 3-day class, learning the basics of bull riding.
You're getting on an animal that doesn't want you there, and he's much larger than you and could potentially do harm to you. So you have the mental game, so you have to have the confidence to get past the fear, the anxiety, the danger.
So you got to be calm, cool, collected, but you got to know what you're doing. You got to be ready to react. It's all reaction.
It's a sport that requires not only a strong body, but also a quick mind.
By the time you think about what you're supposed to do, it's too late. The time has already passed and you're probably in trouble. So you have to train your subconscious mind to just react in a split second.
And rodeo has become much more than just bull riding.
The entertainment value only lasts 8 seconds per ride. So we've got 2-3 hours here, 2.5 to 3 hours, and you kind of need to fill some of the dead time.
That's why prospective rodeo clowns are learning the tricks of the trade, where to move the barrels, how to read the crowd, and most importantly, how to make people laugh.
A lot of the funny men are kind of gone to the side. It's a little more adrenaline rush to fight the bull than it is to stand out there and look stupid. But funny's where the money is.
Whether they're entertaining the crowd with jokes and funny antics, or they're flying through the air on a 2,000-pound bull, they all say it's a rush.
It's addicting, it feels great, there's nothing like it in the world.
It wasn't easy starting out, but it's a lot of fun. It's an adrenaline rush. I don't know, I love it.
Come up, Nevada.
When I'm in the mountains, I get hyped up, and when I'm just skiing Botno here, I'm just relaxed and just skiing, just having fun.
Nestled at 2,300 feet above sea level is Botno Winter Park, a second home to 13-year-old Cutter Mome, an up-and-coming competitive skier.
When we originally started all this, we basically just wanted to get them to be strong skiers where we can do family ski trips and they can ski anywhere. The racing and the interacting, the competing kind of is a benefit of it. We didn't know they'd go as far as they've come.
Cutter has followed in the ski tracks of his brother Boyd, who started competing as a teenager.
Once I start skiing on the course, I just zone everything out. I can't hear anything, just focusing on the course.
And it's that focus that has helped Cutter qualify for the Rocky Central Championships in Winter Park, Colorado. It's an under-14 Junior Olympics competition running March 10th through 14th.
I was really pumped that I made it, and I'm sitting in a pretty good place going into this.
It's happened a couple times in the past from athletes from around here, but for him it's going to be great. We've been trying to do a lot of course sets, what he's going to be looking at. out at Winter Park.
Cutter is ranked in the top 15 heading into the event, and he knows it won't be an easy task. He'll be facing off against some of the top teenagers in events like Super G, Giant Slalom, and the Combi.
You have to be really, really tough mentally to reach, I think, the goals that he has for himself.
There's better techniques you can do, different ways you can ski, so there's always something to work on.
And his family says it's that strong work ethic and belief in himself that can push Cutter into the top ranks of the Rocky Central Championships.
We try not to put too much pressure on him at certain times, but he's pretty self-driven. He doesn't like to lose, so I mean it makes him competitive.
I'm hoping kind of just to ski to my highest standards and go as far as I can.
Cutter and his family will leave for Winter Park, Colorado this weekend. In Botno, Rene Thibault, NBC North Dakota News.
It's like time travel because we left on Wednesday before noon and we arrived here Wednesday before noon.
After a long flight and a serious drop in the temperature, more than 300 airmen from the Minot Air Force Base returned home. In March, members of the 5th Bomb Wing, along with airmen from the 69th Bomb Squadron and 6 B-52s, departed for a 6-month deployment to Anderson Air Force Base in Guam.
They get to do a lot of things that they don't get to do flying in the North Dakota airspace and the ranges in the U.S. They get to fly with the Navy. They do a lot of air-sea battle kind of exercises to interact with the other services.
Van Duzer says getting to work with other military services is an important part of staying prepared to respond to any conflict that may happen. But deployments like these can be tough for airmen and their families.
Being deployed 6 months at a time is a long, extended period of time. I think the hardest thing about being deployed for 6 months is missing your family, being away from your family and friends.
But after unloading luggage and gear, it was just an 8-mile drive standing between airmen and their loved ones.
It's like you get the chills, the butterflies, seeing everybody for the first time again, seeing my wife for the first time again. Nice weather, but everyone was ready to get back to Minot, and right now everybody's pretty much thrilled to be back home.
Bussy says he wouldn't take any amount of sunshine or warm weather over being with his family. In Minot, Rene Thibault, NBC North Dakota News. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for today's Noon Report. I'm Rene Thibault. Today our special guest is Shelley Wepler, President of St. Joseph's Community Health Foundation. Shelley, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having us.
So we're having a very fun afternoon coming up March 18th, 11:30 to 1 up at the Grand Ballroom. We have the Regional Communities Grant Luncheon. Shelley, talk about what this afternoon will be all about.
This afternoon will be about granting over $500,000 to organizations in an 11-county area. We have over 80 organizations that will be the recipients of those funds.
Wow. You know, before we get into it, give us the history of St. Joseph's, the St. Joseph's Group, what it's all about, sort of what the goal of the mission is.
Well, the legacy of the foundation has been around for 100 years. Yeah. However, we've been around since the hospital sold 15 years ago. We've been able to grant out $5.3 million in that time frame back to community for all of these efforts that will help the mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional well-being of people in the 11-county area.
Wow. We were talking beforehand. I was at this luncheon with you guys last year. It was absolutely packed.
Yay.
You know, talk about what it's like to see all these groups, these organizations, the members of the public just there, you know, feeling the good spirits, I guess, that are there. Minot State Softball was back in the diamond this afternoon in the capital city. The Beavers were able to grab 2 wins yesterday in their sweep of Minnesota State Moorhead. The 2 wins snapped MSU's 6-game losing streak and helped improve their NSIC record to 7-12. Today, the Beavers were playing the University of Mary. The Beavers would score 2 in the top of the second, but the Marauders hold them at that thanks to Mulaney Rodriguez. She gets the strikeout to get out of the inning. But Minot would strike again in the third. Allie Seigan slams one to left. Probably would have been a homer if not for the win, but it will be good enough to score Melissa Bell, and the Beavers take a 3-0 lead. And just 2 batters later, Alyssa Peanut Cornejo rips it to left. Seigan flying around third, and she would make it home safely. Beavers go up 4-0, and Minot State would go on to win this game 6-0. And in the battle of the Beavers, Minot State baseball able to end a losing streak of their own earlier with a 16-9 win in Game 1 of their doubleheader with Bemidji State. In Game 2, Minot State currently trailing Bemidji 7-9, that one in the 8th inning. And Beavers soccer has announced their schedule for the 2015 fall season. Their year is highlighted by a tough non-conference road trip to begin the season, plus 10 games at what will be the newly renovated Herb Parker Stadium. Minot State women's soccer will look to improve on their 10-7-2 overall record in 2014, which featured a trip to the Northern Sun Conference postseason tournament. Here are a couple games from that upcoming season. September 15th, Beavers host NSIC rival University of Mary. Minot State is home against Winona State October 3rd, and later that month, the Beavers are home against St. Cloud State on the 18th. And don't forget, after the KMOT newscast is done, of course, head up to the Beaver Dam on the Minot State campus. The athletic department is hosting a national signing day party to celebrate all the new student athletes that have committed to becoming Beavers next season. The event is free and open to the public. People can meet up with the athletic teams and hear from the coaches. The signing day party continues until 7 o'clock. But don't leave just yet. Stick with us. We'll be right back after the break.